Are you looking for a faster video? Well, today it's a live stream, and I know you're probably looking for a really nice and tidy, edited down video, but I have ways for you to make it faster. You can click that little gear on the YouTube settings right there on the video and adjust the playback speed, make me sound like a chipmunk, and it'll go a lot faster. You can also look and see if there's timestamps for this project in the description, and if you're on a desktop, you can hover over the time bar at the bottom of the screen and see if it's chunked up into chapters, and then that way you can go directly to the step you're looking for. And lastly, you can also tap on the screen on the right hand side of the video picture or on the left hand side to make the video jump ahead, forward or backward if you're on a mobile device. And you can adjust that amount in your settings so you can have complete control over how much it jumps. So if you are on a desktop, you can use the fast forward or the rewind, and that will make it go faster as well. You can also enable subtitles, and the little CC on the screen will enable closed captioning. That way, if I am a little bit harder to understand with that double playback speed, the subtitles might help you out. All right, well, I know that it's not a nice little edited video, but if you sew with me, we'll get there together and it'll be lots of fun. And now for the live stream. Happy sewing! Hey, hello. How's it going? Happy Saturday. Hi, Nancy. Hey, Shem. Hey, Charlie. Hey, Delwyn. Hey, Beverly. How are you doing? I hope you're all well. What are you guys working on? Are you guys sewing this weekend? As Ray calls it, Saturday. Doesn't really roll off the tongue when you say it, but when you spell it out, it makes sense. So we're finishing the summer pants by Wardrobe by Me Patterns, and today's stream is sponsored by them because they gave us the project, which is awesome. There's a link in my profile to the pattern, or to the site, I think. So, hey Barbara, hey Derek, how's it going? How are you guys? You're trying to fix your ice maker today? Oh, hey Hannah. I'm sad to say we decided to return ours because it was just as much work managing the ice maker as it was our, like, filling ice trays. Oh, nice. Working from the garden. Summer pants for your kids. Ooh. Yeah. That would be a good kids pant, you know. There is the kids version of the summer pants. I don't think there's a women's fit. I looked. I only saw the kids in the men's, so. Oh, perfect. Shorts version? Yeah, that's so smart because they're easy pull on and pull off. You could use the draw cord or not. I was going to sew the elastic waist like I did recently by serging it on, but I'm going to follow the instructions today. And if you want instructions on sewing the elastic waist with the serger, I did that on the recent Shenanigans skirt, so you can always check that out towards the end of the video. Oh, really? You fixed it? Oh, the ice line's freezing? 19 and 13, so you make the adult size. Oh, well, perfect. That's great. That's great. It's perfect. Just clicked away from the stream. Oops, I am sewing the Kingston jacket by Rebecca Page. You hate this interface? For me, like, I feel like YouTube's pretty good because you can skip ads, whereas like Twitch, it's so aggravating. You can't even like check out somebody's stream without watching an ad. It's so frustrating. I feel like they're really hurting those smaller channels because sometimes I'm like, oh, this person's streaming a game I like. Maybe I'll check them out, and then I have to watch 6 ads. And I don't even know if I'm going to watch them. You know, it's like... You know, you're sewing 2 Fairfield shirts today. That's awesome. I've sewn my fair share of those. Hey, Terry. Ooh, Terry. It's Yummy Food Saturday. I live vicariously through Terry and the food that she eats on Saturdays. All right, so I got my home machine out because I'm going to put the buttonholes in for the draw cord. I also decided not to interface the waistband. I don't know why. Sometimes I just go along with things and then I think later, like when I start looking at it, I'm about to sew it, I'm like, oh yeah, you don't want to do that. And the reason I don't want to do that is because while this linen is pretty, you know, soft, linen is still pretty sturdy fiber. It really doesn't need the interfacing, even if it's drapey. And I'm going to need to top stitch through the waistband to create the draw cord tunnel. And I just think interfacing it, and I was going to use fabric. I just don't think that for this particular fabric, I really need to do that. And it would hinder the stretch and stuff. So, oh, that's weird. Shem, that's weird. Hey, Aisha. Aisha and I were shopping early this morning. She posted a sale to Ankara fabric. My gosh, that fabric it's incredible. The details on those fabrics and the colors, and I love that they're like the masters of like border prints and things like that. And oh my gosh, I had like 6 things in my cart. I was like, Saremy. So, Zaxby's today. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, right, Terry? You're trying to fit the lanyard pants, finished dress, nice. Hey, Fiona. I'm on my Bernina just for the buttonholes. Yeah, so Terry, I'm trying to get used to contacts right now. And the last 2 days I started the day wearing them. But by the end of, like, kind of halfway in between yesterday, I was like, this left eye isn't happy. And the left one isn't that great. So I'm learning. I'm learning how to be a contacts wearer. Oh, you're sewing a prosthetic boob. Nice. That's awesome. What I missed? Oh yeah, Terry, there's a sale. If you're interested in Ankara fabric, there's a sale that Aisha posted in the guild. 30% off. It's already such an affordable fabric for how incredible it is. So I got 2. We both posted. She's like, there's a sale. This is what I got. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I looked at every single fabric on that site. There were 13 pages, 100 fabrics per page, and I just sat there. I was like, I want all of this. I was like, Michael, would you wear this? Would you wear that? He finally got up and sat in another chair. I don't think it was due to the sale, but you never know. I was thinking, though, that, you know that little project, Terry, that I have to do for somebody soon? I was thinking a lining in the Ankara would be really nice in that. Oh, yeah. See, this whole contacts thing, I'm just... I have to say, though, I was always completely opposed to the idea of touching my eyeballs and putting contacts in and all that, right? Didn't even consider it, never even filtered into my head after, like deciding that for myself. But you know what? Glasses really bug the sides of my head. I've never gotten them right. And, yeah, oh yeah, Charlie. Yeah, so, but then it started dawning on me, like, if I can't have like a surgery to fix my eyes, I'm maybe wearing glasses forever. What could I do to make them more comfortable? Because I'm really sensitive back here. And so I got contacts, and you know what? I was like, oh, this isn't so bad. Like this is okay. I will say, like, my mood is drastically improved at the end of the day, and I'm pretty sure it's because I'm not wearing glasses all day. It's an African wax print fabric. The print is on both sides. It's incredible, Jim. Check out the link that Aisha posted. Yeah. They make your eyes really dry. Yeah, so I feel like I'm doing this sometimes. One of these, Charlie. and then like a long time will go by and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I'll do something different, like start looking at something really close and my eyes start doing that again. So it's bold, it's colorful, it's detailed. Oh, yeah. All right. So I have my little waistband here. This is the front waistband piece, right? And then there's the little drill hole for the buttonhole. I have my piece here. I have it folded, and then I have a little bit of interfacing right there. And I marked the fold line here, and then the center line of the waistband. Here's my notch, see that? And then the drill hole, I used it for spacing, and I used the exact same drill hole. I realized after I marked all this that it was exactly the same. And if you're wanting to center your draw cord holes from top to bottom, just remember, take out the seam allowance and find the center from the fold to the, I'm sorry, my fingernail is crazy right now. Look at this. Does not hurt. About to lose it. Sorry. Yeah, so anyway, I'm gonna put my buttonhole centered on this little spot here. The great thing about doing a buttonhole with a draw cord is that they can be asymmetrical. They don't have to be perfect. It's a really great way if you're just like still getting the hang of like buttonholes on your machine, or you just haven't done a whole lot of them. This is a very, very low risk buttonhole. So here's my draw cord. So I'm just going to make this like a little bit bigger than the width of my draw cord, you know, so. Yes, it's cotton. Oh yeah, it's crisp, right? It's a very crisp. Yeah. You know what I loved about that site was how many people they had posted pictures of wearing the fabric in a garment. Like that is some amazing sales tactic, you know? It's like that's such a great reference. If you're like trying to figure out the scale of it. Although I had to chuckle at the titles of all the fabrics. I was like, okay, I'm really terrible at naming patterns, but this is as if I named all these things. It's like coral and blue print, brown and coral print, yellow and white stripe. These titles in no way describe the complexity and brilliance of these fabrics. They are the driest titles ever, and I just had to laugh. Like if they were looking at their sales for the day, like if they're like, how did I do with my sales? And they were scrolling through, if I were them, I'd be like, I have no idea what these fabrics are. They're all the same exact title. It just kind of cracked me up. All right, that is my draw cord width, right? So let's be more methodical here. I got the draw cord from Hearts Fabric. So we'll just make this a little bit more, you know, consistent in length. I'm gonna make it like 3/8 of an inch. You know, this is nice. You wanna promote your stuff, but you know, when you use, well, this is a 6-inch ruler, so you're using almost like 20% of the ruler for your logo. I don't really appreciate that when I'm trying to measure something. That's one way to make me just a little bit cranky if I have to move my ruler. All right. Sorry, can you even see what I'm doing? I'm sorry. See, I was just making it consistent. This is why this is one of the many reasons I don't use a home machine, is that it's very hard for the camera angles for me. Let me move that up there. Can Saremy follow the right lines? Well, let's see. Yeah, that's what I was hoping for, Aisha. I was like, I want to know the names of these prints. Okay. So I always say this, since a kind viewer a very long time ago told me this. If you have a Bernina and you are doing a buttonhole and your bobbin case has this little arm in it, thread the arm. It just comes straight out of the bobbin case right through that little arm. That's it. And then treat it the same. Only when you're doing buttonholes, though. It's a birthday present. I also don't have buttons. So, which means wrong machine. I meant to get the, is this the right? Yeah, this is the right. Wait. Wrong pedal. Where's my foot pedal? Oh, I gotta get my foot pedal. There's 3 foot pedals under my machine. There we go. Yeah, I have to go all the way to town for buttons. And you know what? That would be fine if I knew I was going to actually find buttons that are going to work and the quantity I need. But as it stands, I am not very confident of that. And so it makes me a little cranky that I'm going to have to go there and do that. All right. The camera is a little in my way, so we're going to do our best here. Just making sure the foot pedal is actually connected. You know what? I'm going to sew a little bit on some fabric. Ooh, oh my gosh. Terry, that's exactly what I should do. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, Terry, thank you so much for saying that. I have so many snaps and I really love using them. I love you for saying that right now. Thank you. Hi, Mullen. Hey, Anna. How's it going? All right, here we go. I'm trying to see. I hope I'm in the right spot. Oh my God, I'm totally doubting which one's my marking. Don't forget to change to your buttonhole foot too, because there's little grooves underneath, you know, that allow for the ridges of your buttonhole. So, I know, right, Terry? There's such a breeze to install if you just have the tool. I haven't had one fail yet now that I have the tool. Hey, Eliza. How's it going? All right, so let's go over here and make sure we use the same markings. Because look at how much higher that one is. And yeah, I picked a orange thread. Why not, right? I thought it would be kind of fun. My husband thinks of me when he thinks of orange. Like when I met him, I was really into orange and lime green together. I promise it goes. I really like complementary colors in general like that. Even my wedding, like he picked his wedding ring. My wedding ring has pink and purple sapphires. I'm not big in pink and purple or anything like that, or gems or anything like that. I just wanted a flat wedding band. He got one from the same designer. And his has green and orange tiny diamonds, natural colored diamonds, I guess. They're not like high value diamonds. Well, I use this purple one. I can show you in just a second, Eliza. I got it from Waywack. I don't think it matters what you use. Oh, no. We're not starting off like that. No, sir. We are not starting off like that. I say no to that. I felt that. I felt that little pull. I am barely on my interfacing. Hey, Libby. If you're flat, okay, wait, you have a question. I have to think what I'm doing right now for a second. And then I was gonna, yeah, so for the snap thing, Eliza, I just think like if someone's selling snaps and they have a tool that goes with that type of snap, just buy the darn tool, you guys. Just spend the $8 and buy the dang tool, because you'll be happier that you're not sitting there going, well, now what do? I don't want to buy the tool. It's like, well, you can't install them very well if you don't have the proper tools, right? Just buy the dang tool. That's what I did. When I did it originally, I accidentally bought snaps, and it said the tool wasn't necessary, and I bought them from the UK. Well, I realized, oh, the tool would be absolutely necessary for this. And so now I'm waiting for the next time I order from them to get the tool. And in the meantime, I went on Waywack and I just ordered the whole different thing and got the tool. And the tool works on the other ones from the UK. The snaps just aren't the exact same size, so they're a little bit fiddly. I have to start that over. There we go. Oh, maybe I didn't. Okay. It sounds a little funny. I'm a little nervous right now. I haven't done buttonholes since the SBS on them. But I do find being consistent with your speed is really helpful. I'm going to fix that naked spot right there on the left. There we go. Let's fix that little hole right there. Okay. All right, what'd you ask, Shim? Let's see. If you were flat felling a sleeve, do you fell it onto the shoulder or onto the arm? I am drawing a blank and it's not. I see both. If you look at the Fairfield instructions, I think that says how they do it. So, yeah, I think in general it goes to the body of the shirt. So, yeah, like I guess towards the shoulder or towards the front and the back of the shirt rather than to the sleeve. Yeah, right, Anna. I think it looks good with the linen. I had a rocky start right here. It's a really gigantic buttonhole, and they aren't the same, and yeah, not doing so good on my buttonholes. But hey, they're done. I don't have to cut them the whole length either. Let's get rid of my thread. Because my bobbin door is closed? That's funny. I always sew with it open. Is that a thing? That's like one thing I have not heard of. My bobbin door is open, by the way. See, this is my bobbin door right here. This is just an attachment that makes my machine have a bigger bed, because here's the free arm. That I haven't taken off in a while, so it's not going to come off. But it's just like a little. Oh, maybe I just don't know how this comes off. Oh, there it is, right there. I'm a little nervous. This is just like a little attachment here, so I can hold some feet and bobbins in here. But here's my bobbin door right here. That's awesome, Libby. Buy something for us. All right, so I tie sorry, the camera's probably gonna move. I tie my cords to the base of my camera there, and then I just leave those cords here. Okay. Oh, if the bobbin door is open? Oh. Oh, I don't, I'll show you what I use, Eliza. I don't have to squeeze anything. Yeah, those things are a little fiddly. There's probably, I've never tried a lot of these besides the, you know, Dritz ones that we've all tried from the fabric store, right? So these are the snaps I ordered from Minerva in the UK, and I don't have the tool for. They're by Hemline. These little cases, though, are really awesome. They're plastic, and they, you know, slide. So you have this little case. Well, this one's not going to slide very well, but so I have those. But these right here are what I got from Waywack. And it works great. And all you do is you set your snap in here, then you just put this on top, and then you put your next piece on, you put this on top, and then you go whack. And that's it with a hammer. Close the bobbin door. Oh, to take the attachment off. Oh, thank you. Yeah. You know, I never sew with the bobbin door closed. So yeah, you're right. I probably need to shed it to get that thing off. I haven't taken it off in a while. All right, yeah. And then I store them all in magic pin packaging. See? Like Nancy says, these little, she calls them coffins, these little cases. They're really great for holding other things. And so I put my snaps in where I put all of the prongs and snap and other pieces that go to all snaps in one. And then these are all the different caps I have right now. So I have light blue, red, black, and then I also have pearl. I have some pearl ones. And then they also make ring snaps as well. But these are cap snaps. So yeah, this is what I'm currently using. I'm not saying it's the best, but it works great for me. And I haven't had one fail ever, like installing or after installed. So yeah, and I got it from Waywack. It's very affordable, lots of different colors. They have multiple different kinds of snap systems, and I don't know why I picked that one. Sorry, I was reading Nancy's thing. All right. So where we left off last time was I had put one front and one back together. So I have one whole leg here, right? Here's the one whole leg right here. So this is the back right here with the yoke and the pocket, and this is the front. And then I needed to fix the bottom of the pocket bag so that it's sewed like this. I like it better like this. And so now we can attach this front to this back, and we'll continue on with the rise. So first thing I'm going to do is tack this pocket so that it's laying nice and flat on the body here at the waist and at the side seam here. So I'm just going to get it nice and flat like this, because the linen is so loosey-goosey, you know. Turn this back on. I was monkeying around with my stitch length yesterday. I don't even remember what I was sewing. Oh, I was making my James shirt, the one I didn't stream in May. I made most of that yesterday in between two Zooms. I fixed the pocket. Yeah, I just said that. Yeah, that was really fast and easy. I probably should have just done it on stream. All right, so I'm going to do this side seam here and the inseam, and then we'll take it to the serger and serge it. Pretty sure I did that on here, right? I sewed it first and then I serged it. I usually do. I don't need to, but I do. I like the spacing of it when it's like that. This fabric is very loosey-goosey. All right, and I know it's going to push my, oh yeah, I remember doing this because it pushed my, my pocket opening there, pushes the presser foot away. So I had to kind of push it, pull it back over. Hey Shasha, how's it going? Welcome back. I'm really craving sewing, just like relaxing and sewing something for me. I don't know what that is though. Like I'm like, what am I craving? I think I picked out a dress with some fabric I got. I'm trying to decide if I'm streaming next week. I don't usually. I usually do actually. I would normally stream next week. This is usually my off week. And then I think my 500th video is like really close. Maybe it happened. I don't know. But August is usually my like streaming anniversary. So I thought we could just have some fun with that. 500th video. I know I've hit 500th video if we included all the videos that are in like instruction, you know, they're unlisted, so they're not public on YouTube. I'm having a good Saturday. I hope everyone is having a good Saturday too. Still kind of cool here, so it's 83. Let's go to the Serging. I'm hoping I have time to record a couple of how-to videos after the stream today. I had already recorded them, and I was rewatching them today because I recorded them a long time ago, and I made them into little 1-minute Instagram reels. That's so bright. I just wanted to check, and I was right. It is too bright. And funnily, I was just telling this to folks yesterday. My little Instagram reel. It's how to sew a V-neck on a knit shirt. Is it zooming or not? There we go. A V-neck on a knit shirt, a rib neckline. I don't think I can make that much darker. And it got 200,000 views, which really cracks me up. I think Instagram does that to reward you on your first few reels. It shows it to as many people as possible. But the original footage would have been good enough for a regular YouTube video. I was looking at today and you can hear me breathing in it, and it really bugged me. Scissors that are usually right here. There we go. Oh yeah, the bias cut dress. Yeah, so you know what I think I'm going to do with that, Charlie? I think I'm going to do that blue linen Yeah, the Amelia dress. Yeah. No, I don't know, Beverly, because that's my point too. If you wanted to find a how-to video on Instagram, how would you even search? And so I was laughing yesterday because someone actually said on my 1 minute long tutorial, and I recorded that tutorial, I think 3 whole times. So I used materials, I recut the materials, I prepped my materials. I recorded the video 3 different times to get it as short as possible. And when it was as short as possible, it was still a 15-minute long video. Then I had to trim it to 1 minute. And I just laughed in response. I was like, yeah, it's a 1 minute long video. Of course it's too short. If you want an actual how-to, go to YouTube. I mean, I was like, yeah, I totally agree with you. It's way too short. I thought it was really funny they said that. They didn't reply. It's like probably the snarkiest I've been in a reply. I was like, yeah, it's too short. You're right. Okay. So let's put... So yeah, I don't feel like working really hard to put my content there because I don't really feel like it's that helpful if people can't find it, you know. So get in there. Jeez. I'm just putting the legs in one inside the other to get this rise in one whole continuous line. I have my labels pinned there so I don't forget, because I've been kind of bad about remembering my labels. And when I'm sewing for someone else, I really like to remember. Okay. So this fly is sewn a little differently than I've done before, so I'm kind of excited to try it. Is this sewing? It doesn't sound like this. Yeah, I can tell it's not sewing. Oh yeah, okay. It came unthreaded. This fabric or this thread is so fine. I made my needle bigger though. Even though I don't need this size needle to sew these pants, I made the needle bigger so the eye was a little bigger. That was ridiculous trying to thread it. The thread didn't have enough substance to push through the hole. The hole was so small. Yeah, right, the heat waves in London stuff. Yeah, my daughter lives somewhere that is historically the climate of like the UK. So it's usually, you know, overcast, cloudy, rainy. And there aren't any, you know, air conditioning units. And it's been so hot, over 100 degrees there. And, you know, she is accustomed to heat, but, you know, you can get out of it here. You know, you can kind of cool off, and there's a lot of, you know, the culture here is surrounding like staying cool and stuff, and there it's not. And what people are doing is because it's so hot, they're ordering lots of curbside pickups, and the company she works for refuses to make curbside pickups on cooler times of the day. So she's like sweating through her clothes by 10 a.m. and she's almost passing out. It's like I feel terrible for her. And so I kind of have this funny story where I had to pick up medicine for my cat that I could get over the counter at the big box pet store. Michael was out of town, and that particular day I had 2 Zooms, one in the morning and one in the evening here. And so leaving the dogs at home all day with no one there, you know, I can't do that to them inside the house, right? So I was trying to get home as fast as possible. And so what I decided to do was get curbside pickup there because I also had to pick something else up. And so I was really packing it in. So this is, but I felt terrible about the curbside pickup thing because I knew what my daughter had been going through, and it was really hot here at the time. And so this is what happened. I decided that I was gonna go and get a gift card to somewhere like Starbucks so I could hand that to them as like a tip. I know they can't take tips, so I thought I'm gonna give them a gift card, right? And I went to go buy it. They weren't open. I went to a place that sells like banks of gift cards. They only had $30 ones, and I was just gonna give them like a $10 gift card. I know it was a generous tip, but I also was just like, whatever. There's a Starbucks right next to them. Maybe this will be really fun. Maybe they could bring a coworker, whatever, right? And so I did that, and then they didn't have that, and so then I was like, and I had to make a purchase at the store in order to get cash back. So I decided to get cash back. And then at the end of the day, I had spent $30 extra in order to get a $5 tip for this person. Then they couldn't take it. I was like, okay, this good deed is getting punished right now. And I just thought, how am I going to explain this whole thing? Like, and I bought like a random couple things I didn't really need, you know, the whole thing. I was just like, and it was taking me longer. Like, I just needed to get this order and go home. And so I could let the dogs out. And I didn't want to skip getting this medicine. It was a dewormer. So I was just like, oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's awesome, Aisha. All right, I'm gonna overlock these. So what I just did was I went down the, let me show you. I just went down the center back rise. Try not to stretch any of this while you're doing this. This is very, especially in this linen, it's very stretchy through here. And then I went up and then around this fly right here. And I'm gonna overlock this right now. So the other day in the chat, someone was asking, hey, how could I finish this without overlocking? And so one of the ideas I had is you could sew this little area here wrong sides together, kind of do a pseudo French seam, right? So you could do like a 1/4 of an inch wrong sides together, just this little area, flip it right side out. You'd have to clip right here to be able to do this. And then turn it so that now you have your seam is clean finished right here, and press it and everything like you're doing a French seam, right? You'd have to probably clip this little curve. And then now you could do your whole rise seam around that, and then that would enclose that little edge there. So if you could do the whole thing as a French seam, actually, so which would make more sense than how I just explained that. Well, for here, the heat's very normal. But for people who don't have things in place to handle it, for me, I feel I'm really worried about houseless people because it's really hot on the concrete and all that. You know, so if you're like closer to the ground, sitting there or whatever, or living, just, you know, being out and about a lot. All right, so I'm at this little spot here. Now I can drop my knife, but when I wasn't able to drop my knife, I used to pull this way over. I'm gonna get really close. I've actually never done this crotch curve though. So, you know, your needles are like a 1/2 inch behind your blade. Your blade gets there first. Those were clips. There we go. One time we saw this this poor guy. He was in a wheelchair, and I don't know if he got hit or if he fell over in the intersection, but I think he got bonked by a car not paying attention and turning right, and he was in the crosswalk crossing, and he got bonked, and it ejected him out of his wheelchair, and it was 105 degrees, and I was instantly like, that guy's gonna burn. And nobody would touch him, and I could tell he couldn't talk, and I could tell he was in so much distress, and I was like, he's hot, he needs something, you know. I got out of the car, I ran up, I was like, oh my God, and we got him a towel and everything and put it under him until someone could get there and get him off of the ground. It's literally, you know, burns you. So yeah, okay. You're from and live in the Dominican. Oh, okay. Hurricane season. Ooh. You'll take the heat any day over winter? Don't you live in Massachusetts? Winter's kind of a big deal there. Oh, wow. Clearing 2-story buildings? Oh my gosh. All right, I'm gonna reinforce this back rise here just with another second row of stitches in the seam allowance here. Even though I've overlocked it and all that, I just feel like the linen can be, it can really pull apart. I can't even see where my oh, here's a little thread I can cut. I can't see my thread tail. All right. So now we're gonna stitch this front fly. Let's go press it first, actually. Where was I? I was watching some sort of surfing thing recently. That's the culture I kind of grew up in. Anything for the wave. All right, so this is the fly right here. Let me straighten out my pants. And we'll pull this leg out now of the other one and just make them inside out, separate legged. Like this, right? So here's our fly right here. We could even press it from the wrong side. This is the front, so I'm gonna press it this way. And I'm gonna line up those notches. See the fold line of the fly? Make sure you have that marked. Actually, I wanna do it from the right side. I wanna be able to see that I'm getting a crease right here at the base of the fly. So here's my seam right here, right? So we're gonna get this pant to be relaxed all around here. And that fold line is going to go from that notch to your seam. I'm going to line up all my waist edges here. And I've flopped over the fly to the wearer's left. I'm sorry. Yeah, the wearer's left. Yeah. Okay, and then my iron is really pouring water a lot right now. So we're going to hope for clear water. Nothing of a color. Oh, it's like just pouring out of my iron right now. My iron at home is acting funny too. It's starting to smell funny, like burned rubber. I love how it just casually like, oh yeah, it smells like burned rubber. All right. So I'm going to pin this shut right now while I'm over here. Yeah, I think my mom said that when I was younger, like a kid or something, she was saying, I don't remember why, but out of the blue, she was like, you know, if I had to pick of living in hot or cold, you know, and we've lived in California all our lives, pretty much. I've lived in Colorado for a brief stint too. She said, you know, I think cold. If I had to pick one or the other, it would be cold because you can always put another sweater on. I was like, that's true. All right, so I'm gonna top stitch around my fly here. Just gonna get it going so I can arrange it. And then I'm just feeling it through. I really believe that the machine just stays on these little edges like this. It likes staying on there and it's pretty easy to feel it. We're not worried about zipper teeth or anything like that, so we're not too worried about anything. All right, and then I'm gonna go around, I'm gonna go down the fly, the rise, the inseam. The rise. I'm not going on the inseam, I'm not going on the fly. I'm top stitching on the rise right now. Good point, Barbara. Yeah, that's so true. Anna, it's like, don't even look at me. It's too hot. I remember one time I was driving to Colorado from California, and the way you can do that is you go through Nevada and Utah and enter Colorado, or you go through Arizona and New Mexico and enter Colorado there. And I remember we were going in a car that didn't have AC, and so the windows are rolled down, and it was so hot, like the wind was hot. And I remember we were so miserable, and I was going with a guy friend. He wasn't my boyfriend or anything. And I remember just being like, don't even look at me. Like, it just your gaze on me is too hot. Like, that's how I felt. It was just too hot. All right, so that's the fly right there. Very easy thing to sew, the fake fly. And so now you can do some decorative bar tacks and things. And maybe this would be a really good opportunity to use my orange thread, you know, like just for a fun thing. I could put a bar tack right here. You can barely see this fly, huh? It's clean finished. That's how it looks on the inside. Those are so satisfying. I'm going to tack my labels together here. And get those ready. Right here. Get these threads. This gray thread is very hard to see. There we go. Is there any threads to clip? Nope. Okay. So now we're to the waistband. Just trying to think, do I want to do my little bar tack right now? I mean, I don't know. Oh yeah, that's nice, Aisha. I like that. I feel the same with cycling. I love cycling in the rain. It was really nice. I think the only thing is if you don't have fenders on your bike, it really does kind of make the experience not nice, because then you get this trail of water that goes straight up your back, and if it's muddy, it's just like this straight mud trail up your back. It's like in a perfect line. Fenders and a raincoat and rain pants or a rain skirt. Rain skirts are the best for men and women because you can just throw it on over whatever you're wearing. You don't have to like put your legs through this weird fabric, you know, which is hard. So, okay, so we have our waistband and it's in 2 pieces. So let's put the waistband together at the sides, right sides together. Come on, stay straight there. I'm gonna do both sides. They are, yeah, non-stretch woven. I'm using the Brussels washer linen, a yarn dye. Okay, so yeah, like living somewhere hot, you guys. Like when I lived somewhere, the place that I lived before, it was wet and cold. You know, we got about 60 days of sun a year. Here I think we get 300 days of sun or more. It's like 300 and like probably 40 days of sun. It was a very rain heavy place where we lived. I wore a cardigan year round, right? Moving here, it felt so liberating to be barefoot and just like walk around and just to feel like it feels so comfortable like this. I love that feeling so much. I just love it. All right, I top stitched the side seams. So I pressed the seam allowance to the back and I top stitch it down. You're going to want to do this if you're using the draw cord, especially because when you go to thread your draw cord in there, it might get hung up on these little things. And I do think that it'll still get hung up because I pressed it away from the front, right? And so if I press it this way, it'll be easy. When I come back around here, it'll be harder. So if you really wanted to, it's not going to show up that much. You could press the seam allowances both the same direction and make sure you press your, or push your draw cord through the same way. So it'll be a little easier. All right. So I'm going to do this the way it is in the instructions, how you put the elastic on in this waistband. However, if you want, you can do this another way that I would argue is more of like a one-step thing, but if you want to make it easier on yourself, set yourself up for success by tacking it in a few places. But you could do this by sewing your elastic into the circle of the length that you want, putting it in your waistband just like this. So now your waistband is this one entity, right? And then tacking it in the seam allowances at the center, the side seams here, you know, a few places. Even if you want to do the whole perimeter, fine, do that. And then you could just overlock this waistband to your pant and then you're done. Like that's how I did the shenanigans score by 5 out of 4 patterns. I did that in May. It's not an old stream. So if you want to go back and look at that, you can do that. And if I were off camera, I'd probably just put it in there and just do it. I would tack it in a couple places. But I think to make it really easy on yourself and just to make it a really pleasurable experience, I would either sew in the seam allowance all the way around to keep your elastic in there. And it will be tricky because remember the elastic's going to be doing this to your fabric. You have to pull, and then when it goes to the serger, keep it pulled flat. So there's some instruction there. Don't just go do it. I would definitely, if you haven't done it before, you can also look at my tutorial on serging elastic to a waistband, but that's a little different because it's more like you serge, like if this was if the pant itself had fabric for the waistband included in it, you know, you serge the elastic, you fold it over and you top stitch it. There's a whole video for that. That video for some reason is getting recommended a ton right now on YouTube. I don't know why, but that is probably not hard to find right now. But it doesn't work for this project here. All right, so we're gonna sew the inside of the waistband. So I'll show you. Here we go. All right, so here's the right side and the front of the waistband, right? So let's go to the back here and go to the inside. So this is the inside of the waistband. See that? Take that back. And we're gonna sew it to the wrong side of the pants. Put this on here, wrong sides together. Just like this. Line up that center with the seam. And then same with the center here, see? So we're doing the inside of the waistband to the wrong side of the pant. All right. And be precise with your seam allowance here. I'm going to do like barely the minimum because I'm using the full width elastic. My linen's growing, you can kind of tell, but it's going to be fine because even if it's growing, that means it's also a little bit flexible that I can squish it together, you know, and get it back to its original circumference. What is this thread right here? Get rid of you. You're just going to give me problems. So line up your side seams. Put all of your raw edges to the raw edge, like all these little threads. Do it now because these little threads kind of come back to haunt you later. I mean, we are going on the wrong side, so they'd be on the inside of the garment, but you know, it's just good practice too. All right, so where's our center? Our center is right here. Well, it's probably in the middle of this fly here. Let's see, let's line up our side seam right here and find it. There we go. All right, you can kind of see what I'm doing there. Look at that. So I'm stitching on the right side of the pant only because I don't have a free arm. And so this is just makes it easier to kind of have the pant above like this. I'm inside the pant. One thing I love about the Wardrobe by Me patterns is she sews a lot of her things like this the same way I do. I always start from the inside and end on the right side, and so that I have complete control over how it's going to look. Like collar stands, cuffs, waistbands, you name it. I always start from the inside and end on the right side. Okay, we're back at center back. And I'm just going to trim this down a little bit. Get a nice smooth edge here because now I'm going to put my elastic in here. And I don't want this seam allowance to, you know, push my elastic around. Just make, it's like, you know, those transitions just weren't very smooth, mostly because of the sewing and stuff like that. Aw, thanks, Shem. 51 watching, yeah. Welcome, everybody. Have I told you about my guild? No. Yeah, exactly. The free range slacks and the Essex. This does get a little loosey-goosey. I had this really interesting thing happen with one pair of my free range slacks, and I sewed them, admittedly, in an extremely lightweight denim, so like a chambray, like a shirt weight, but it had a lot of body. And I thought this is great. And I had this crazy thing happen where when I stitched down, so those have these big patch pockets, and the edge stitch of the pocket, I got it so perfectly, just by total accident, between the fibers, like a perfectly on grain, that it pulled the fibers apart and you could see the cross fibers in there. Nowhere else had done it on the pant, just at the front pockets. It didn't do it on the center front seam, back seam, side seams, nowhere else. Because I was like, oh, is this me? Am I like when I'm sitting down, expanding it and pushing it out? I showed it to a few others and they were like, is it this? I'm like, no. Is it that? No. I mean, it was just the oddest thing. And I ended up just like re-top stitching the pocket. It'll probably happen again, but I was like, hopefully I don't sew it so exact between the rows of weaving. Like, what a random thing. I've never seen that before. All right, so now we're on the right side. And so you could pre-iron this edge under a little bit. Not a little bit, the seam allowance. And I'm going to just kind of do this like this for a little bit. And I just want to see where I'm at because I'm a little worried my elastic isn't going to fit in here. I'm very worried. If you're doing the 2-inch wide elastic and you haven't cut yours out, I would suggest making your waistband like 1/4 of an inch wider at least, just to give yourself a little bit of play. So, oh yeah, no problem, Brenda. I don't think I'm about to make this look very easy. This fabric's going to definitely give me a little bit of a hard time. And my elastic is very wide. See, look at that. And so, yeah, so it looks like it fits, but here's the deal. The thickness of the elastic in here, like let's put it in here and wrap it around. I don't really have room for my stitching there. I could use narrower elastic. Let's see if I have, I bought this elastic for this. Let's see if I have it because I think it'll be, you know, my motto is ensure success, right? So let's see what I got. Ooh. Oh, that's the exact same stuff. Okay, let's see. I think a workaround you can do also, if you don't have wide elastic, is 3 rows of narrow elastic. I'm not serging and I'm on the right side though, so I can't do that. That ship has sailed. I think this is 1 1/4. What are you talking about, Aisha? What are you guys talking about? Picardin is safer than deep. Are you talking about bug spray? Oh yeah, you are, okay. You just never know what they're gonna be talking about, you guys. I love it when it's like brownies and things like that. They like their tangent. They blame me that I get off on a tangent, but look at the chat. They're talking about bug spray. All right, so I have this 1 1/4 inch elastic, but I want a 2 inch. Hey, Rachel. I was, but I think I said early on that I'm going to do it like the instructions because it's clean finish, and I feel like that'll be helpful for some that haven't sewn this before or want to sew it like the instructions. So I just thought I'd stick to that. So, I mean, my other idea, like I said, is you can do a few channels of narrow elastic. It looks really nice too. So basically, you're going to have to make 3 different casings. I think this one is a non-roll. It was all I could find. I'm not feeling ignored at all. I like it when you guys ignore me in some ways. It feels like less pressure. It's not easy being up here. Yeah, I had trouble finding. Like, I really like braided elastic. This is my favorite. Braided elastic is my absolute favorite. It's usually what I use. This right here is a braided elastic. Can you see that? There you go. This is non-roll. Not a big fan. I don't know. It rolls. I don't know. Ah, Justine, thank you. Oh, the alerts are off. Sorry. I was recording videos the other day. I turn off all the alerts. Oh, no, it's not. Where's the alert? Oh, there it is. Sorry. Binding to the edge for extra width. Okay, but remember, I'm on the right side of the pant right now. So see, this is my, this is what I got going on. I could, if this were on the inside, yeah, I could. But see, this is the front fly right here. So what I'm supposed to do is this. I think I'm just going to use a narrower elastic. But it means my buttonholes are going to be a little bit lower. So I think that's what I'll do. So let's decide. All right, so let's decide here. I think that would work right there. I'm going to do a little bit wider like that. Because I'm also going to edge stitch my waistband. I really love the way this looks when it's all gathered with elastic. When I figured that out when I was younger, I was like, ooh, I'm doing this to everything. When it didn't work, I'd be so bummed. I think that'll work because if I have stitching here and stitching here, you know. So, all right, so I'm going to do a 1/2 inch fold. Okay, so right now I'm going to pin my pant all the way around. Just folding it under. You can pre-iron this edge if you like. But I'm pinning it right now, so I don't really need it to be pre-ironed anymore because I'm just going to do it, right? Yeah, no, I like braided. I think if you're overstretching braided elastic, as in any elastic, yeah, I don't think it's ideal. But I really like braided. I feel like it keeps it stretched longer. But do whatever works for you. Like, I'm not the authority on elastic, you know? And then someone reminded me of the other day, like doing this kind of thing, pre-stretching it. It's a really good idea. All right, so I'm just lining up all my seams. We're going to edge stitch it to the waistband. We're going to leave a little opening to put the elastic in. This is why I'm not a big fan of this method, because I really hate threading elastic in waistbands. But this is such a nice finish. It'll look really professional and nice, and it's just it's totally doable. Very, very doable. But yeah, it's going to take me a few minutes to just pin it. And then I'm going to check the width and make sure I've got it even all the way around. And if I were doing, jeans on a waistband, this is basically the same kind of steps that I do. I always start from the inside and go to the outside. That's my labels. I was like, what is going on, Bagdar? So what I like to do is I'll pin like what I call these landmark areas. I'm running out of pins. Okay, Terry, enjoy. I don't think I'll be finished. So what I do is I'll pin, like, this is the side seam and this is the center back right here. And then I go back and I pin in between. I go kind of straighten it out and then see. I'm also going to pull my waistband to make sure that it's not pleating right back here. And we'll check that before we're done. So it's a great idea. If you want to just press this and press the waistband up before you do this next step, that I fully support this. Like I said, my motto is ensure success. So whatever gives you the tools to make you just kind of relaxed while you're doing it, I'm down. We use dragonflies instead of bug spray. I joke, but it's kind of true. We have so many dragonflies on our property. I don't know what one has to, like how much you can contrive attracting dragonflies, but 10 out of 10. Don't they have those bug bracelets too for kids? Cricket said they worked, but I was always like, does it though? I don't know. All right, so now I'm gonna look at this inside. So here's my inside, right? And I'm just making sure that my waistband didn't kind of blump over the edge. You know how you get that little pleat? Like, this is dangerously getting there, right there. Because then you lose some of the width of your waistband and your elastic. We've all had that experience when we're pulling elastic through a casing and it's super tight in that one spot. And we're like, please make it, So this is what we're trying to prevent. And I can see, like, this right here looks a little narrower than right here. So I'm just going to double check and make sure, did I actually pin it over the line there? Did I do too much right here? And I can kind of like let it relax a little bit. Make sure. All right, and so then, just making sure that we're going to have that room. All right, and then let's leave it open to the left or right to the center back. Here's the center back, actually. Wait, no, this is the center back. My gosh. Like right here. We'll just leave it open back here somewhere. I have to do this, otherwise I will totally forget. Something like that. All right, so let's start. We're just going to edge stitch it. All right, I get it going, get my machine under there. I use my machine as a helping hand, and it's really helpful when you, like, and this is, I always explain, like, I always have my pant above the machine like this, inside out. Right now, this is outside. This is inside out right now, yeah. And I'm sewing on the right side. And I do this so that the pant is underneath and getting caught under my needle. It's just like one less thing to deal with. But then I get it on here and I make sure everything's kind of relaxed and flat so that I can kind of make sure all of this is going to stay nice and flat. And I'm really holding it down and kind of making sure, because I don't want the waistband to have torque lines. We don't like torque lines around here. So you don't care at all right now where the needle's landing on the inside of the pant. We know we did a really good job pinning this and folding it under. My fold went just past that original stitch line right here. It just went barely past it, right? So I know if my needle is landing to the right of that, I am on the waistband. It may not look like it on the inside some places, but nobody's gonna see that. And if you really wanna get good at the stitching looking the same front and back, that's what you need to practice, is your proximity to the original stitch line and knowing what's happening. And the other thing that you can do if you really wanna get good at that is making sure that when you pin all this, pull up, like press this inner waistband up really firmly so that when you go to sew it, you're not going to get this blumping and your needle fall somewhere else, okay? So those are just some of my tips on doing this. I really love using an awl. And then what I do with this is I pull this. You can't see it, but my stitch line's right here. And I will pick this up and pull it just past. It's just a way for me to get really close there and control what it's doing. It takes a little bit of practice using an awl, but now I can't really imagine life without it. It's just one of those things that works for me. Doesn't work for everybody. I'm going really slow right now. You know, if I were sewing by myself, maybe I would just zip through here, but there's no reason to. I'm really more worried about torquing right now. That's the thing I'm thinking about the most. And you see how I get this little, I don't know, can you see this? Let's pull this down a little bit more. Oh yeah, you can see it a little bit better now. You see that little hole right there? So that's because my presser foot is pressing this fabric toward me, right? It's pushing the fabric toward me. And the feed dogs are pulling it away from me underneath. So they're kind of opposing forces. And so what I do is I'll take my awl and kind of just push this fabric up there. I don't put a tuck in there, but I just get it to ease back in. And that just comes with like years and years of handling fabric. You kind of get the feel for that. So all the things my hands are doing right now is I hold the waistband up here and I pull here, and that's just to make sure I don't have this pleating on the inside, right? Do that. And then if it pulls the stitch line too low, I got my awl out and I kind of pull it over and correct it. I'm doing a lot. I'm just being very instructive right now, you know. I usually hold the waistband pretty firmly though, you know, like I do things like this sometimes where I'll hold behind and in front and I pull like this hard. And I do that so that I can prevent the waistband from torquing. I'm controlling how the machine is pulling and pushing the fabric. Okay, we're getting close to our stopping point. You can just sew right over your pins too. If your hands are already performing a circus act by holding, pulling, pushing, she wants me now to hold an awl, don't take the pins out. As long as you've pinned perpendicular to the edge here, you know, often I just do this. I just sew right over them. And if that makes you, you know, want to, you know, punch something that I do that, then don't do that. There we go. All right, so I'm going to trim my threads. Let's look at the inside. So this is the inside, what I just stitched. I did way better than I thought. But look right here. Oh, this is the area that's open. No, I actually fell on the waistband all the way around. That never happens, just so you know. All right, and so now what I'm going to do, you don't have to do this, but because I had the space and I kind of made sure I was going to have space, I'm going to edge stitch the top edge of my waistband. I really love the way this makes the elastic look inside the waistband. It gives it kind of this really crisp edge, and if you look at any store-bought like track pants or runners or anything like that, hey Sue, you'll notice that there's this first stitching is right along that top edge, and it just kind of gives it that nice touch, you know. And you want to do it before the elastic is in there, because what'll happen is when you do it when the elastic is in there, depending on your machine, like my machine doesn't like that. It doesn't really like the uneven thickness thing, and so the elastic being in there will push my presser foot off the edge, and then I'll have this little loop of stitches there. Really annoying, right? Okay, so we're gonna put the elastic in there now. Oh, I gotta commit to the elastic length. Ooh, spicy. Do I have, let me see, I'm looking for some measurements. Ooh. Okay, so Michael's waist is 34.5. How are you doing, Sue? Okay, so that would be 34.5. And if I were to follow the instructions, let's see where he's at. We'll look at his size on the size chart. He falls on the, in between the medium and the large. And so the elastic would be, oh, the same as the waist measurement. Didn't I? Oh, I made the medium for him, right? I made the medium for him and the small on the legs, right? Okay, so I'm gonna cut it at 34, which is a ½ inch below his waist measurement. I kind of want to do a little smaller. Now that's accounting for the fact that I'm going to overlap the elastic on top of itself like this. So then I've lost, you know, another inch. But because I'm going to stitch, well, let's actually stretch the elastic too. Let's follow my own advice. I sometimes will have to watch one of my old videos and I'm like, dang, I totally forgot about that advice. I'm so glad I gave that advice because I forgot about it and I needed to hear that. It's like, can you believe sometimes you can forget something that you really believe in? It's like, how much did I believe in it if I totally forgot about it? All right, so 34 inches. I cut that down a ½ inch right now because I stretched the elastic a little bit. And now what I'm thinking about right now is the stitching I'm going to do through the waistband to create the tunnel for the drawstring. That's going to stretch the waist out a little bit. And so that's why I'm thinking like maybe I should do it a little bit smaller, you know? What's my backup plan? My backup plan is I can always unpick that little opening. No, I don't want to have, I can't have a backup plan this time because I'm going to be stitching through the whole thing. You know what my backup plan is? I have a draw cord, so we're going to go bigger. All right, so we're going to loop this through here. Ooh, this feels old school. I'm using a safety pin. When I do a safety pin too, I always put the safety pin on like this, so that the whole safety pin is on the elastic. because have you ever had it just fall out the edge? And then sometimes, I don't know, I just found this works nicely. So do what works for you. All right, so tell me a story, because this will take a bit. I can't use my loop turner because it's not a long, flat edge, you know. It's an actual circle. Make sure you keep track of your elastic. Don't let it twist or anything like that. But we're going to be stitching down the middle of it, 2 rows, so that'll really keep it from, you know, twisting. Imagine if this had a zipper fly in it. They look like, I mean, right now, like, don't they look just like a regular old pant with a fly? I wonder if you could probably fit this to someone and then put a zipper in. This is my edge that was folded the other way. No one's going to tell me a story. I still haven't opened up my draw cord holes. I'll just wait until I'm getting close. I'm just trying to get past this little side seam. This was the trickier one. Oh, that sounds fun, Malin. Fancy-ish for a change, going to a wedding. How long is a midi dress supposed to be? I don't know. Does it have to be a certain length, or are you asking? So, can't you make it any length you want? Or is there something kind of like, not dress code, but you know. Yeah, I want to start. Wait, Rachel say, I finished the change on my pants. I think it looks a lot better, but I'm not sure that it actually looks different to anyone but me. Well, that's all that matters. We don't matter. How do they feel, Rachel? I want to start. Well, I keep staring at my husband's butt, not for any naughty reason, but because all I can do is obsess over the fit. Yes, I know exactly what you mean. Your muslin is so Frankenstein's monster. Well, just remember that Frankenstein thought his monster was a thing of beauty. I think it's mid-calf. Okay. Oh, I've gotten so deep in the pant fitting thing, Shim, that I've looked at my dog's legs and gone, well, like if it was a dog. Oh, Rachel, I actually did think of something else to think about. Okay, so you know how I'm experimenting with that, that other fitting technique for underbutt wrinkles? This is what I propose. I say we reverse engineer the issue, meaning we'll get a pair of pants fitting really well on Jelly Bean, the dress form, and then we will add the fit issue, and then we'll know exactly what it needs. That's what I did on the sleeve skill building session. He keeps being like, what? What are you looking at? You're like, you're just perfect in every other way, sweetie. It's supposed to be somewhere between knee and ankle, not helpful. Mostly thinking of what will look best. Oh, okay. All right, so now I have my elastic through, and I'm just going to make sure it's not twisted, right? And then I like to overlap it like, it's like overlapped an inch. 2 rows of stitching, people. Do not skimp. 2 rows. Don't catch your elastic like that, though. Last thing you need is this popping in the middle. It won't, though, because we're stitching through it, so. All right, and now we're going to give it a good old tug. And, ooh, these are very not stretchy. Oh, my goodness. Think I should make them smaller? I'm gonna make them smaller. I don't know why, I just have to. Okay, where's the end though? It's right here, okay, good. That's awesome, Shem. I mean, you know, if they had, would you have known? I love those polka dot shorts. That's not enough stretch. I did the medium waist too. Maybe I looked at the elastic wrong. Maybe I looked at the wrong column. But I'm just going by what he needs, you know? Yeah. Let's see here. Let's overlap it a little bit more. I just feel like I want him to fit him, right? Well, usually I always just take off 2 inches from the waist measurement. Do I know how long the piece is? You mean the waistband? I don't. It's measuring 32 right now. That proportion doesn't make sense. 1 to 1 and 1 to 2. 1 to 2, that'd be like 50%. The top should be proportional to the bottom. I don't understand what that means either. The waistband and the elastic. Yeah, I know, but I don't care about the waistband. I care about how it's gonna, like what it'll fit him, right? Because you could make the waistband really full, and I don't think this one is. I'm just gonna cut off like a little bit more. I'm not cutting any more off. Maybe I made these too small. We'll see. We will see. All right, let's get them in there. And I'm just doing this and getting the gathers kind of distributed evenly. But you see how my little edge there looks so nice? Okay, so now I'm gonna edge stitch this shut, my little opening there. Let's just get rid of this thread right here. You sounded very certain though, Rachel. That's why I say be careful of people who are very convincing. You know? I'm going to put my elastic. Let's see. Where is it back here? I'm just kind of looking. It's behind the seam allowance there. Put the seam allowance on top of it so that it's consistent along this edge here. It'll be easier to... So and now when you're doing this, remember, keep it kind of stretched and flat. There we go. All right. And now we're gonna cut my buttonholes, which are way too long. So when I use my seam ripper, you know, I'm kind of old school that way. I do have a buttonhole cutter, but it wouldn't have worked here. This is the trick. I don't ever glue buttonholes. I know people are really into that. I don't do that. I am not. Rachel, you're totally the voice of reason. But the really, you know, these little threads that happen when you cut your buttonhole, just get rid of them. They're going to, oh, this is that little extra back stitch thread that I did right there. They're going to do that because we just clipped what they were anchored to. But now, if we get rid of all the others, it won't keep unraveling. You'll just get a nice fuzzy edge there, right? All right, and then let's put in our, this is why you want your buttonholes to be straight across from one another and the same height, because mine are about to look really crazy right now because I'm gonna stitch a casing and it's not in the right spot. So there you go. Sorry, Brenda, you probably came here thinking I knew what I was doing. No, I do, but I haven't done this in a while. I think I do this on the Caroline Pajamas by Closet Core. Probably says Closet Case in my original video. So no one's gonna know, right? In fact, maybe what I'll do is I'll just start here and end over there. Then no one will know. We were talking proportions for Mullen's dress. Oh, the 1 to 1 and 1 to 2. Your top's supposed to be the same. Oh, okay. No wonder. I'm so glad, because I was like, I don't know what that means. But I respect Peggy Sagers. Okay, so make sure all of your gathers right now and your elastic is very evenly distributed around the waist, right? Do this a few times, give it a good yank. Because sometimes it'll get hung up and it won't slide and it'll seem like it's just not gonna move. You know, like right here, it's a little bit more than right there. So just slide it around like that. And now when we sew this, we're gonna keep it stretched like this while we do it. And I'm just gonna use my throat plate. I have lines on my throat plate to get a nice straight edge, straight seam, sorry. Keep it pulled, don't let it go and then pull while you're sewing. Well, I think it's so that you can cinch your pants tighter, right? I'm doing it because it calls for it in the instructions and I wanted to stick to how they were supposed to be sewn. Okay, I'm getting a little bit of torquing, so. Fashion shim. No, Brenda. Are you kidding? Welcome to the channel whose #1 tool is the seam ripper. I've literally heard people say they were afraid to use their seam ripper till they, or tell people to use a seam ripper until they saw me. Nah, the seam ripper's just a tool. All right, look at this cheating method here. So my buttonholes, I swear they were not this far off from each other. You guys saw they were not in height that far different from each other. So I started this casing here and I just ended it there. I didn't sew between the two. All right, I'm gonna, let's see, can I use, I'm trying to line up my waistband to another line on my throat plate just to make it a little easier. I think that works right there. And this is big enough, I think. It says to make your casing, I think 3/8 of an inch bigger than your draw cord. So that means my casing should be like 5/8 of an inch. All right, I'll try that. You know what I have? I have a piece of tape. And then I can make it much longer like this. There we go. I like to look right here when I'm sewing, when I'm trying to keep straight lines, you know? I don't really look right here. I look right here. So you gotta be really careful when you're stretching and sewing. Don't sew, then stretch. Stretch, hold it, then sew. Your machine won't know the difference then that you're doing that. It'll just think it's a flat piece of fabric, right? Right here, through where this thickness is here, you can tell it wants to kind of bunch up. Did I really run out of bobbin? You guys didn't tell me I ran out of bobbin? Wow. I thought I could trust you. Who runs out of bobbin in the most ridiculous places? Well, all of us do, don't we? All right. It's back here. Luckily, this thread's just pretty much invisible. Even though it's gray. Who would have known? I love gray thread. It's the chameleon of the sewing world. Okay. There we go. Where's that thread at? You saw me stitch it first. Why did it give me all that? I did, right? After I changed the bobbin, I stitched a little bit on my sample. Get rid of this now. I always do it right away so I remember, because I remember where my machine does things, you know, like I know what my machine likes to do. Little gifts it likes to leave behind. Looks good though. It makes it look really professional. Except for the uneven buttonholes, which, you know what? If we're in matching thread, we would never know. I could have probably even fooled you. Yeah, they have it at Hearts Fabric, Eliza. I just bought it, and I just feel like this casing would have been a little too small for it. All right, so now we can put the draw cord in. Oh, exactly, Nancy. My old machine, I could hear it. This one, I don't hear it as much. Oh, you know, one thing to think about before sewing your draw cord casing is the size of the safety pin you're putting in there. Sometimes that ends up being the hardest part, you know? All right, tell me another story. Well, I mean, to be fair, Shim, you're supposed to be just in, you know, rapt attention here. You're not supposed to be doing something else. Hey, at least you probably haven't put those sleeves on inside out and backwards like I have on the Fairfield. I almost said that to Derek, like, be careful of sewing them inside out. I don't know what it is about the Fairfield. Oh, am I going to get this past this or not? Why are you stuck right now? You're between the seams. This is the kind of thing where I'm like, I want my money back, you know, like when it gets hard like this. Why is this hard right now? Is it just the thickness? It might be the thickness of the safety pin with the draw cord. There we go, I got it. Whew. I do. Well, they're not the Lander pants anymore, Aisha. They're the Aisha pants, right? You can tell people, oh, I made a pair of Aishas. So the constriction inside this little casing is there's elastic in there and the draw cord and the safety pin. There you go, Shem. You made macaroni salad and bruschetta. Ooh, that sounds nice. I didn't even cut off my draw cord yet. $300 humidity. Okay, here's my other side seam. This one's going to be really hard. I'm a little worried about it. It's poking the other direction, and it gets really tight through here. Home stretch though, look, I can see it. Our upstairs gets really warm too. I have this whole system, you know. Close this door, prop this one this direction so the cold air bounces off and goes into the hallway. Close that door so the air that goes in the hallway goes into the other room. Don't have the fan on too high because then it just warms up the cool air. Sometimes it's better to have the fan off, but I really like air circulation too. It's been cold at night again, which is great. I mean, cold, like 70 degrees. But when I go to bed, sometimes it's still 85 degrees outside. And we don't, usually the air's not on late at night either. Okay, almost there. I got past the tricky part a little easier than the other side, finally. This really bugs my wrist doing this kind of stuff. Doo-doo-doo. All right. Whew, my hands are tired. All right, so we don't really need them to be too long, but we also want them long enough that they don't get sucked in there when in the laundry, right? And we can always shorten it. Let's pull out some. Where do I want these? Ooh, nice, Malin. I love that trick. No, not at all, Aisha. That's what a lot of people do. All right, so if I were wearing these, so what I have learned, one of the weird random things I've learned in my years of sewing is that it takes a lot more to make a bow than you think. Like this isn't very long, right? So I think we could make this, you know, probably this much longer on each side, right? So we'll do that, and then we can always trim them off. Nice, Mullen. Okay. How'd you do, Brenda? I doubt you're doing yours right now. Okay. Let's get these a little more even. I pulled all that out and I didn't really need to. Let's see how they look. Yeah, I think you should, Aisha. Which ones are you doing again? Except for my wonky buttonhole, like that left buttonhole. I think it looks good. Here's the inside. Not too bad. All right. Just the hem now. Let's see. I wrote down his hem. Outseam 39.5. So let's see what these are. Oh, right, Landers. No, the Aishas. Man, my short term lately. I was thinking about it the other day, it was kind of worrying me that how my short-term memory was just like a little bit dicey. And then I was like, you know what, you're actually keeping track of a lot of stuff in your head lately. So, okay, so these are 39.5. So, and this has like a pretty generous hem. So I think what I'm going to do, let's see, I think I would like a 2-inch hem allowance. So I'm going to trim off this much. I'm going to trim off 2 inches. It's like 25% of the time I have to change the hem length for my husband. So I just may have to, and that's okay. A lot of times even I just leave it and we try it on him before I hem it. And maybe that's what I should do. Maybe I'll just overlock this and then try it on him, right? Let's go overlock it. These are going to be cute on him, I think. I like to turn them inside out while I do this. Same idea with that whole circle thing. And I'll start on the inseam right here. And this is the front leg. So we're going to push the seam allowance this way. Put those little threads there. I'll just press the seam allowances towards the back. I don't know where my little scissors are. All right, and on this one, this is the back. Oops. All right. We're done. Yeah, I'm really glad I got enough fabric to make me a pair too, Eliza. I really like them too. I so know what you mean, Shem. I remember when I had my daughter, I had been a full-time pattern drafter at the time, freelance. So I had a lot of clients, and a lot of math going on in my head and stuff like that. And I'm just catching up on chat really quick. And I remember being shocked by math going, I could feel it going out of my head, math skills. Like, I know being pregnant and having a child diminished my math skills. And I don't believe anybody who says anything different, because I worked past my due date. Like, I was working the whole time doing pattern drafting, and it was getting harder and harder, and nothing else in my life was really changing, you know, so, like, besides being pregnant, you know. So, and then when I had her and I started nursing, same thing. I was just like, why can't I do basic math? You know, and I didn't do basic math with pattern drafting. You know, you're doing a lot of geometry. And I was so mad. I was so mad about it. I just remember, and it wasn't like the people around me could really commiserate with that, because, you know, they were Michael or people who hadn't had a child or didn't do what I did. And it just sounded like crazy talk. And that it was just like, oh no, you're just tired. You're just stressed. You're just eating differently. Your routine is off. And I was just like, no, I'm sorry. I've had all those things happen to me before. I know it was happening. There was something about my brain that changed. These are really cute. I hope they fit him. And if not, well, I could use the fabric I have to make him another pair. And these would probably fit my daughter. They're about the same size now. So these are really cute. And so they have those pockets here, which are very nice. Look at how low profile those are. But they still have this little bit that comes in. Oh, let's get rid of this little thread right here. I really like when side seam pockets aren't truly side seam pockets. They're like this. This is what I call a hip pocket. And in the pockets skill building session, I show this, but I have the opening much further over here, right? It comes like 1 3/4 of an inch from the side seam. But what I like about these is it's so easy to find when you put your hand in there. You know what I mean? So, oh, good job, Brenda. Yeah, I'm glad you liked it. Good luck with yours. I hope it goes well. Let me know. Yeah, and when you watch, if you have to watch this again, Brenda, you can speed it up. And you can make a note right now of the time by, I think if you click the bar under the video all the way to the top, to the very beginning, it'll tell you what time it. I can just tell you, actually, we're at 1:50. We're at the 2 hour mark. So I would say look at like 1 hour, 40 minutes. And you will kind of be there, and you don't have to watch the whole thing or fast forward, you know. So. Oh, no, there's no way, Shim. That'd be a puddle. Any advice on now to make a pocket not too tight to get your hand in? Like if it were like this now, like after sewn, oh, there's not much you can do. But if you're setting it up, absolutely, you know, just this is what I do. Like if I look at my hand right here and I were to measure, I'd measure it like this. Like even if there was no pocket there, right? This is what I would do. This is how I measure things. I go like this. I'm like, well, I know that pocket opening's got to at least be 6 inches to be comfortable. Most pockets are 5.5. So it was legit. Oh yeah, Cindy, you might be able to find some classes at a fabric store or a sewing center, and I know there are people who have sewing classes online. I'd suggest you join our guild, but I don't really have classes on there, but I do have skill building sessions. And I don't teach beginning sewing, but you're welcome to always come in and ask questions. I'm totally happy to help any time I can. You can never do that. Yeah. Yeah, especially Sydney, if you ever need someone to tell you you're not doing it wrong and that there's lots of ways to do it, come back here, because there's a lot of people that have lots of opinions out there. But whatever works for you, that's what works, in my opinion. And I've been doing this a long time. Long time. I don't think this is cotton. Look at that. That is definitely not cotton. Yeah, what do you mean, Shem? Yeah, and you can check out the guild. If you're really getting into sewing, you can check out the guild. It's sewguild.com. It's free to join. It's a community. It's very different than most communities. It's not like a forum. It's very interactive. Like, people can post their own things, and there's topics and stuff like that. And there's people of all different varieties of sewing level there, and sizes, and everybody's welcome. Everyone's amazing in there. There's a lot of really creative people too, like as far as problem solving too. The top feels tight around your hand. So this top, meaning this piece right here, yeah, you could make the opening bigger. And if you need to make the opening bigger, there's a few ways to do it. You can move this angle of this pocket this way, right? Because then your angle would be over here, which makes it a longer line. You can drop the opening here. You could give it a shape, like swoop it a little bit. You're busy, Anna. Oh, there you go. Thanks, Melon. Putting a link to that. Yeah, you might just want a bit. I have the same thing. Like, I don't have very big hands, but I don't like my hands getting hung up when I put my hands in my pockets. You know what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get my orange thread out. I'm going to put a bar tack here and here. What do you guys think? He'll be okay with that, right? Let me go grab the thread I used for the buttonhole, because it'll look consistent. We're telling a story here. And by bar tack, I mean not zigzag stitches. I'm usually, well, that is a good question, Cindy. Usually Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, 11 a.m. Pacific. However, because of the guild right now, I am spending a lot more time in there, and I do lead like Zooms and these skill building sessions and things. But if you're on Instagram by any chance, I do post a monthly schedule, and I post it here on YouTube. A lot of people don't know on YouTube there's a community tab, and it's right at the top of a YouTuber's page, and that will have the schedule too. I don't have any streams scheduled right now for next week or August because we're close to the end of the month. We are, right? Yeah. Right now I'm streaming every other week because of the guild. Yeah, I'm going to just do like a fake bar tack. Ye old, sorry, I keep lifting my presser foot up. I know it's annoying. You don't have Instagram? Yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah, so usually every other week. In August, I'll probably stream more than usual because it's my like stream anniversary. Streamiversary. I would really like to stream every week like I used to, but I just financially need to do other things to kind of be able to stream. Yeah, that community tab has my schedule. All right, so I'm just gonna that's my bar tack. It's the poor woman's bar tack, or the lazy woman's bar tack, so I don't have to get my home machine out. So there's one. Do you think you would, what's going on with the camera? Why is it so far away? I feel like I'm gonna pinch myself lately. Okay. Should I put one here too? Oh yeah, you can subscribe. The next time you stream might be right before camp. Oh, does that really put it into perspective, Shem? Yeah, subscribe to my channel. I should say things like that more often, huh? One down here. Here. Let's do the pockets. I think these are going to need that for sure. Okay, I go across, right? I don't never actually, well, it's not never, but been a while. All right, we're gonna go horizontal. Okay, like that. Like that, right? Okay. And then we'll do one over here. This one seems like it looks like it might need it already. Like I cut it close there. So this will be smart. Are you guys all saying yes to something I asked? Don't say yes. See, when you keep the bobbin thread, you don't notice it on the inside. Okay. You guys were saying here, this is what you're saying yes to. So, like, where do I usually put that? Do I put it like right here or right here? Horizontal at the bottom or vertical along the, why can't I think of how I usually do that? Too late? What's too late? It's never too late. The buttonholes being different is really triggering. Yes, right on center front seam to the tip of the fly at the bottom, right here. Okay, so like you're saying like this, like vertical along the rise up to the bottom of the fly, right? You said not to say yes. Too late. Okay. Center front seam to the tip of the fly at the bottom, right there. Right? Yeah, right? It's done now. Okay, yeah, that works. I couldn't picture it. Well, shoot. What do we think of this? I could take it out. You know what? I kind of want to go like this. I want to stitch across and down and around in the orange. You know what I mean? Like if this is the fly and here is the stitching we've done and here is a bar tack and here is a bar tack. I kind of want to go like this do I have another color? I don't think this will show up as another color, but like this. In the orange. That's too much? Okay. Noted. Nora, Kathleen's like, do it! On pants, is that common on pants? Well, on, you know, like if it were a regular fly, yeah, you would have your bar tacks, and it can be all kinds of things. I was just having trouble picturing what I'd want on something like this when we know it's not real. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, Shim. I don't really know if I want to call attention to it. Okay. That's a lot of O's, Fiona. Okay, cool. And then here's the pocket. This is what we have. I like it. And then I won't do it on the pockets, but I think that could be a place too people would do. But I won't do that. Oh, do it in gray. It's a really great. Oh, didn't mean the bar tag, but the top stitched area. I like that. Well, that's one of the ways I like to top stitch a fly, but a lot of people don't do that. I just like that. I like that look, and I go across right there and around. I usually do 2 rows right here, 2 parallel rows, because there's nothing there. So, do it in gray. I kind of like that idea. I kind of like that idea. I think I'm going to do it in gray. Right now the stitches look like they look good, but they look like they're floating there. You know what I mean? I think at least in the gray, it'll kind of give them some sort of context or like a frame. Yeah. Fiona approves. I feel like I can do it. I didn't get a no. These are a pretty fast pair of pants to sew. Like if you weren't talking to chat and you didn't have a bumpy start, I kind of had a bumpy start the other day when I did them, right? I was in like cutting mode. All right. I'm just going to go up and over. And you know what? Let's mark where we're going to do that so we get a straight line. Like right here. You know what I love? This is one of my, no, you shouldn't, Fiona. I love that. I love the emphatic. This is one of my favorite tools, the little Hera marker, H-E-R-A. There's no ink. It's just, it scores things. I love using this thing. You can't probably see it, but it just made a dent in the fabric, basically. Love it. And I think what's great about it, like I can tell that's not that straight. It's a great way to kind of be able to picture how something's going to look first. And it also is nice on fabrics that marker doesn't show up on, you know, like dark fabrics. I think I'm going to do one more stitch. All right. I have a big needle in, and look, I'm going to show you a good reason why needle size is kind of important. This will be fine once it's washed, but let me get rid of my threads before I forget. Can't even see them, man. They're so pale. You can tell, do you see this dot right there? And there's one here. That's literally my needle hole. It's going away already. Oh, it is. I love gray bread. Yeah, I like that. I like that kind of just. Normally I put this right here. I center it over this line right here. But I just won't think about it that way. It looks wrong to me, but that's just because I usually always sew my flies that way. And there's a billion ways to sew flies, and when you kind of get into sewing them, you start looking at, talk about a place to stare at on people, but you look at the way their jeans are sewn, and there's so many different ways to finish this down here. I think the only thing I would have done different maybe is edge stitch this first, but because like Shem said, they're lounge pants, I wouldn't worry about it. These look really nice. I'm really happy with these. Very clean finish. I'm really glad I didn't serge the elastic on, because sometimes it's just so nice, you know, to have a clean finished pair of pants or project. He opted for the pointed pockets, but you can do flaps and straight. Wait, did he opt for the straight or the pointed? Oh my gosh, I don't know, whatever. I'm using a size 16 needle. I switched because I was having trouble threading the eye because I got contacts. I don't have my contacts in today, but yeah. I was struggling a little bit the other day. Yeah, I like these too. I hope there's a plan for a women's pair in the works. I bet there is, knowing her. I haven't gotten new labels. Oh, these are from the advent calendar. So I just have this like box full of them. I have a year to use them. So they're a little messy in here. But yeah, I actually almost put in Sidekick. He and Noodle are just like buddies. This cat that just showed up on our property, you know. Sidekick would be a good term. But I was like, you know, I already put the yellow floral lining in there, which he'll totally be fine with. I almost put Go-Go Juice. They're all really cute. Like, I really like all of them. They're all so unique. They're not sweary ones either. So they're a little more versatile. I have a few sweary ones in here because I got gifted a package in the subscription box. So I have a few. But yeah, this was a really good deal, I think. You got a couple patches too. Wasn't I going to sew? Oh, I did sew a patch on my overalls. Yeah, so. You guys want to see my, well, first of all, thanks to Wardrobe by Me for giving us this project. This is really nice of them to do that. I really appreciate that. I really like it when someone supports the live stream, understands that it is a unique way to do things, but it's really valuable for people too. So look at that. They look so professional. You guys want to see my James shirt? It's almost done. Where is it? Oh, it's way over here. So this is a sun shirt. I want to be able to throw it on over whatever I'm wearing if I want to go out in the yard and work for a little bit. And it's a moisture wicking fabric. It's lightweight. I didn't end up putting mesh in it. And the pattern is by what the heck is their name? Ready to Sew. I'm looking for the picture of it. All I have to do is put the sleeves on and hem it. Isn't there a picture in here somewhere? Oh yeah, so it's the James shirt. So it's a little, oh boy, there we go. See, it's a little dark, or right. It's a pullover shirt with a slit at the neck right there with a collar. This little pocket for your phone or whatever. It's not big enough for a phone. I had to make it bigger. Is on the inside, so you would reach inside and put it. And you have two pocket options here, kangaroo and this. So this is mine so far. It would look really cute with the summer pants, to be honest. Oh, I decided to bind the top edge of my pocket, so that's where I left off. I forgot. I was like, what's that? But you stitch down the facing completely, so it's clean, finished. I used a check on the under collar for fun. And it's supposed to have a button and a loop right here. I'm just gonna skip, I don't really need that. And then you can see here's the stitching for my interior pocket there. See it? So you do see the stitching on the right side. The shirt was modeled after fisherman's smock. So then it has this one pocket here. I'm going to bind the top edge and then sleeves, and that's all I got to do, and it's done. So right now it doesn't have sleeves on it. I think I should have put the mesh in there, but I just wanted to get it sewn, you know. It had been sitting cut. Yeah, almost done. Okay. Thanks for coming, everybody. I really appreciate it. This was a really fun project. I love the waistband and how it came out, except for those buttonholes that we're not going to talk about. You know? Front pockets, back pockets. Hopefully they fit. And yeah, that's I'm only doing 2 pieces this month for menswear sewing. Last year I did 4. If you're interested in more menswear projects, I actually have a playlist on my channel where all the menswear things I've sewn is there, so you can look through that. And if you're ever looking for details of a project, it's slightly out of date from the last 2 months, but my website is a very bare bones website. You can go to it and see all the projects I've made. And what's great about this is that it'll have just like a very brief synopsis of what my project details were, so you kind of know what I was dealing with. I have a few personal opinion at the very bottom, but it has all the links to all the videos in one spot. So if you're on YouTube and you're like, I really need part 1, not part 2 and 3, just go to soso.live, use the search bar, search for your project, and you'll find it there. So, and that's all my website's for, basically. I do sell some patterns from my old business, but that's it. So, good night, Charlie. Thanks for coming. So, night, Mullen. Have a great weekend, you guys. Thanks for coming, and maybe I'll see you next week. I might surprise stream. So keep an eye out. Have your notifications on, maybe, or check the schedule or something like that. I'll try and announce it on the community tab, too. So, yeah. Yeah, they don't have any plans to extend the sizing on the James shirt. All of the patterns on their site, if they begin with the letter P as in Paul, those have more sizes. If they begin with the letter J, they have less sizes, and there's no plans. So it's very simple. I actually really appreciate that. So thanks again, Justine, for the donation too. That was over and above. You don't have to do that. You're already a guild member, and I really appreciate it. So, and I don't know what else to say. Have a great weekend. Happy sewing. Yeah, and see you guys soon. Have a good one. And don't stay too hot, you know, or buggy. Watermelon is your friend. Iced tea and watermelon.